Here we are, Season 5 of the 9 Realms. Let's see how this dumpster fire turns out. Or will it pick up from here? If you haven't already, watch my previous reviews of my prior seasons and join my Patreon too to get access to videos days early and other perks. Episode 1, Punishment and Torture. We start off exactly where we left off from Season 4, Tom's mother finding out about the dragons and shooing it away like it's a small cat.
Go! Get out of here!
Of course, Olivia drags his boy away, being very angry at him for disobeying her and putting himself in danger. So after a week, we see the gang go see him whilst he's grounded. Tom is translating the Book of Dragons, which took them long enough, 5 seasons in. They decode the Book of Dragons using the internet.
Tom and I found some runes on the internet.
Anyway, the runes helped us put together a key to decode the Book of Dragons.
And there's this weird romantic tension between Tom and June, and I could not care less.
Just don't narc on us, Colorson. I know where you live, okay? Because you live here.
Again, with this series and painfully unfunny jokes.
Cool stuff about the sky torture.
Oh, I wonder if the sky torture is going to appear in this episode. So the sensors are going off in the ice realm. We don't really know what it means. It never expands upon the sensors are going off. Dragons are in trouble. How does it even detect that? And why hasn't it gone off numerous amount of times that Buzzsaw has been capturing them?
The Dragon Middle Schooler.
Yes, the wet wipe is back. With a new hairdo and slightly bigger bass. Keanu Reeves has kept the Timberjack. With a remade whistle, as of course he will have a new one. He's already made one once, he'll certainly know how to make it again. Which also begs the question, what was the point of like 90% of a previous episode?
And I'll have old Jack here.
Coincidence? Or does he know it's actually called a Timberjack? If so, how? He also captures a few flamethrowers.
I see you've met my gang of fire spitters.
Fire spitters is a better name than flamethrowers. They're still not that great. But also, I never really mentioned this last time, as it was fairly obvious, but I guess I kinda obligated to point this out. The dragons can easily escape from the pathetic rope. Claws, fire, anything, honestly, even just the strength, to be honest. So the gang is captured, which is confusing. There's like 4 of them with 5 dragons. Just burn him. And that even goes for the captured dragons as well. Breathe fire. You can escape.
Wherever they are, the sky torture isn't far behind.
But they warned Jared Leto about the sky torture because the flamethrowers are just existed.
Sky torture? Ha! Another dumb name.
I couldn't agree more. And also, is this a bit of meta humor as well? Jabbing at us critics, complaining that the names are bad.
Thank you for your cooperation, Birdwing.
That is a feather.
Flamethrowers? What an idiotic name.
Meta humor doesn't really work when you are continuing the thing that people are criticizing you for. Wow, what great lamp shading, guys. So with the gang still captured, Thunder EMPs the surface to get Tom. By now you'll think they have backup measures for the amount of time the power goes out. The disagreement continues between Tom and his mum, with Thunder being a very cute puppy to try and win her over. Oh god, I just gagged.
Thunder isn't the only dragon, and I'm not the only kid who has one.
Through this little chinwag, Tom divulges there are other dragons and his friends are riders as well.
Tom.
I don't know how this comes out as a surprise, considering Tom has been playing Dragon Club for many months now, and hangs out a lot with the other kids. A logical conclusion is that at least all the other kids know about the dragons, if not have some of their own, like Tom does with Thunder.
But, yeah.
No way.
Mom!
I said no.
Honestly, base decision, and a very slight subversion of expectations. Now, I was about to criticise the dialogue for being the most generic, uninspiring slop,
I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds like a bad parenting decision.
but they turned it around. But of course, the plot has to plot, and they do the same shtick they've done for 5 seasons now. Tom must fly in on Thunder to save the day, because the other riders are completely incompetent without him. So he explains the gang is in trouble and eventually he gets let off. But I do admit, I do like the pacing of this conflict. It took a while to convince her, which makes sense for a parent. It wasn't just one nice speech, continue on your merry way. It took a lot of convincing. So he frees the riders, and the sky torture appears.
What do you say? Tommy?
Bye. This time Tom actually has a strategy for once, to submerge it into cold waters so it can't use its firepower. They defeat it and discover a new realm. My god, how lazy is that? It's just a hole. It's just a hole. How does this hidden world work? It doesn't make any sense. I like the anxiety Olivia has waiting for Tom. It's a shame that she's never really shared this sentiment in previous seasons though. But now she wants to know everything. Don't know if that would lead to anything. For the track record of this show, nope. But before the episode ends, Jack Black kidnaps his previous employees. Definitely gonna be sued for that, Jesus. Don't know why they are here talking about him. Go home! Why are they mourning the loss of their boss, but they're not? Why are they there? Doesn't make sense. Anyone questioning how Brad Pitt just pops out the hole like that? He probably just climbed up. Episode 2, welcome to the wonderful world of dragons. Oh god, we open up with cringe. There isn't really much to say about this episode as it's fairly straightforward. Tom and Olivia have calmed down with each other and she wants to tour the hidden world for safety. So they do that. The riders set up a facade of safety by grabbing the most docile dragons. But the plan goes to pot when a new dragon, that Eugene puts in the roster, causes chaos. Its ability is to aggravate and disorientate other dragons by sound. The dragon has a structure of a scuttleclaw, but most similar ability to that of a death or slither song. Personally, I'm not too interested in this dragon. A lot that makes up this dragon is kind of copy and pasted from others. That rock should be impaling through its skull, but it's definitely a mystery class.
That means he likes you.
That face.
She is not a dinosaur.
Well, it kinda is, but also isn't.
2 hours later.
Okay, so I went down like a massive research rabbit hole where the dragons would fit on the evolutionary line, and I've sunk too much time to not to share. So, science! I think they'll fit under the Archosauroclade, which contains crocodiles, false crocodiles, pterosaurs, non-avian dinosaurs, birds, and others. So, yeah, at least they're closely related. Maybe it sprouts off alongside Pterosauromorphia. I think I said that right, Jesus. But yeah, I mean, dragons would be with their own separate order. But hey, you can't get too mad at her, because, again, not too far off. And also Alex is taking an L, making it out dinosaurs are not cool. Anyway, going back to the episode, the plebs take an embarrassingly long amount of time to figure out that the new dragon is causing the issue. Like, quite a few times, they're just staring at it like, what is the issue? It's like, I don't know, maybe it's the new thing in the general vicinity. Or looks like that creature's doing something, even though you can't hear the noise it's making. I guess they had to pad out time somehow. But in the end, Olivia realises it's not safe. But see the bond the children have with their dragon, and she won't be able to stop them even if she tried, as proven by them going behind her back for 4 seasons now. So she leaves them with the forewarning of the riders needing to tell their parents. Honestly, this whole episode was just a complete waste of time. That's why I went on that tangent. Literally nothing happens. Her realising it's safe but not safe could be within a part of another episode. Episode 3, Barrel of Vine Tails. We join the riders hanging out, I guess.
Why are you hiding it?
Come on, spill it!
But also the riders are just being plain rude. They're his treat, and if he doesn't want to share them, then that's his prerogative. And it's not as if he's been selfish, because he just shared his other treats, which disappear in the next shot. So 3 minutes into the episode, the actual plot starts. Tom wants to find a possible relation to the owner of the book, and all he knows is the word hiccup.
I know the word hiccup is used to describe him, but that's probably because he had Viking indigestion.
Bruh. In the book, there is a final resting place. Sure, at this point, what do I expect? So they head to the nature realm. Oh, they're setting up a constant unfunny bit with Eugene trying to get the chocolate, aren't they?
Oh no, not by a long shot.
Yep. How to build suspense 101. Put in eerie music that builds. Making it feel forced and misplaced in a show like this. Which I hear that sound and I get tonal whiplash because I'm like, hey, that just sounds like stock sound. I'm fairly sure this is the first use of it as well. I can't be bothered to fact check this, so if I'm wrong, who cares? But what's revealed is the new dragons, Vinetail. And I quite like these, as they are based on something no other dragon has been based on yet.
Monkey.
Although I don't think they're truly dragons, but I'll go into far more detail when I actually talk about them for once.
The book!
My tablet!
So,
Monkey.
do what
Monkey.
do. Steal crap from your bag.
Monkey.
Nab the tablet and the book, so a chase ensues. Then a tug of war happens. How strong is that book? And more importantly, how weak is Plowhorn? At this point, I'm just... I don't care anymore. One of these creatures is stronger than Plowhorn and able to support 4 others. Also, you could just blast the
Monkey.
at the back. And don't be like, oh, they can't attack the dragons. They literally did it in the last episode. And the amount of times Toothless has done a stun shot in the previous series is... But they lead them to their screaming carnival plants.
Okay.
And we find out that the
Monkey.
leads them into a trap for some reason. We find out later the reason is they wanted help to get back to their home. So why trap them? He does not look impressed. I need help with something. I know, let them die. Also, they like to do weird bargaining, which I guess that's inspired by IRL baboons and stuff like that. Monkeys. So Tom, of course it's Tom, it's always Tom, none of the others could figure it out for themselves, barters the tablet and the book for their lives. And the solution is to pull them out. Okay, sure, they're brittle enough for a slight tug, but strong enough to withstand a loogie. Maybe aim at the vines next time. And again, how are those dragons stronger than 4 humans who tried it before. This whole thing doesn't make sense. But oh, the dumbness doesn't stop there. I'm gonna go on my Joker arc in a minute. They make their way across by dropping a few boulders. The vines reached the heights of Woolm way earlier, and you're telling me they can't go more than a pebble?
I think if we head back to the bouldered area...
You're not seriously gonna keep looking for—
June, what do you expect? That is exactly what he would do. It's been 5 seasons now. How don't you know this? So it turns out the thing they were looking for is just there. Sure, at least it moves the plot along, I guess. And this is apparently not a final resting place. This is where Hiccup sat his scrawny little ass. Honestly, I give up at this point. They are confirming more and more that Hiccup stayed down there and continue his adventure, which I have already criticised in the last review, but the short of it for new people, that goes against the message / character arc of Hiccup in the last movie and the franchise as a whole.
This is a pretty nice resting place.
Yeah, right next to the dragon eating plants. So in the end, Dee learns the meaning of friendship sharing is caring.
Haddock.
They also find the word haddock and get confused, but later when he's recalling the events to his mum, she confirms the relation of that surname to their family.
Really? That means we're Haddocks too.
So Tom is a descendant of Hiccup. We all saw this coming from day one. I don't know why they made it out as if it was a big twist.
Well, he was a very big man with a very big beard.
For a minute there, I thought they were referring to Sturk, but then I realised that's impossible. Maybe it's like a slight Easter egg thing. Episode 4, Scent of a Dragon. June's mum has been an ass, and Eugene is being annoying and cringy.
Take a good whiff. Boom! Roasted.
So nothing new, but it sets up the family dynamic and the relationship they have with each other, which is the drama that centres around this episode. Well, just between June and Eugene, which the group just ignore anyway. Their mum is overly motherly to Eugene and expects a lot from June. But we join the riders halfway through the mission, which is a nice structure change, and they appear to be going after a dinosaur. Oh, they're going after a T-Rex! Right after Alex expresses a dislike for them, though. June repeats the sentiment of telling the adults as she's been accused of goofing off, even though what she's doing is a real tangible thing that she's passionate about. Meanwhile, Olivia hates keeping the secret from the other parents. She almost slips up to Alex's mum. These are my 2 favourite characters. They are so adorable. And later wants to contact Tom about spilling the beans.
You see my beautiful angel son, Cal?
It's designed to differentiate between a human intruder and an animal intruder.
Rude. Don't burn him.
Haven't had a shower in the last 9 days.
Is wrangling the new dragon, the Snifflehide.
Rich people love exotic animals. For pets or using their skins as fashion.
Oh my god, for once he's acting normal.
I was hoping something had swallowed you by now.
Oh my god, Christian Bale has actually made me exhale once. What the heck is going on? I don't like it.
Arctic Chill Max body spray.
I think it smells nice.
Oh yeah, that's musky.
The henchmen are the true comedians. And now they ruined it. I think including the henchmen actually improves Jason Momoa's behaviour, as it creates someone to bounce off from. And they act like the straight man, even though they clearly get. I found a weird rule in this. There can only be one outlandishly cringy character per episode.
She'll get through this in a sec.
For the last time, burn it! But Harry Styles runs away as Eugene gets taken away by the Snifflehide. Wait, I haven't actually talked about this dragon. Initially from the trailer, I wasn't too fond of it. But throughout this episode, it has really grown on me. I love the patterns, design, adorable behaviour, and most of the sounds it makes.
Oh, hi there!
That's a deadly natter sound. Sound design be like, what is sound? I will confidently say that the Snifflehide is my favourite dragon from the Nine Realm. For those people who ask, your question is now answered. But I can't leave this segment without pointing out a few inconsistencies with this dragon. In some shots, the underwing is partially translucent, and in others, it's opaque.
The book says they do have bad eyesight.
Yet we get a POV shot, with perfectly fine vision.
Its sense of smell is as good as having perfect vision.
Yet it can't smell the riders at its nest.
Wasn't June's gripe that he literally can't take care of himself?
Based Alex's opinion.
Maybe it evolved to be a meat eater since the book was written.
Dumb Alex's opinion. The Snifflehide is being motherly towards Eugene because of his Lynx body spray smells like her eggs. I don't think I need to tell you how contrived all this is, but for the sake of my mental health, let's just go along with it. Encouraging his development along, the dragon encourages Eugene to fly free, little bird. Fly free. He does a little smirk and jump off, while June thinks he just seppuku'd himself. Tom's very chill about the whole thing. Even though if you watch any other media, you know what's going to happen. Back to the Future moment. Also, Moist Critical comes flying in on a timberjack to get the dragon and the nest. but they get rid of him by covering him with the Axe body spray, but with the mother Snifflehide chasing after him. But even though they ward him off now, what's stopping Jacksepticeye for coming back for the dragon and the nest? Stupid actions like these is the reason why Markiplier has thrived so much in the hidden world. But this is the last time we see him in this season. Again, one of those seasons he just turns up and kind of just does nothing for a bit, but at this point I'm kind of just expecting it. In the end, a new lesson is learned that June's mum treats her differently is because she thinks she's a lot more capable than Eugene. I admit I kind of suck on these nuts. Fuck off. I'd admit I'm kind of a sucker for newfound appreciation for family, but June's mum is still being a dick, and a healthier way to tackle the issue is to air a conversation about it and express how her actions are making her feel. But I guess they are writing for a child, so they won't be that mature enough to recognise that yet. But an older figure could introduce this. I don't know, there's some way of writing in healthier methods that would help the actual target audience more. Communication's the key to any relationship. But before we end out the episode, Minari has probably been told that Olivia has a secret she wants to tell, and vaguely threatens her that she'll find out. Where's human resources when you need it? Episode 5, Sting It On! The episode opens with Snowtails being chased and stung by speed stingers. Bit slow, innit?
Scavengers.
Oh, don't do my voice dirty. Please. Please. Then cut to Tom and Olivia having dinner together, talking about once again her need to tell the other parents. This is the only time in the show where they have a continued plot point for a few episodes in a row that I feel like makes sense and works. Hear me out, because I feel like a few people would disagree. Her attempt to express the secret forwards the plot, with Minari becoming more suspicious. Me speculating here, actually encouraging her to go down the sinkhole to grab more Dragonzite. And a decision like this will take a long time to figure out internally. Tell the parents for the children's safety and their knowledge, and the potential exploit of the dragons from the corporation they work for. I don't think she should be so hard set on a decision so early on in the season. Perhaps weighing up two sides of the story. Objectively, protecting the dragons would probably be more better because the protection of 5 kids doesn't outweigh the need to protect thousands of species of dragons. So when it comes time for Olivia to tell the parents, we'll see a gradual progression and her understanding of why she chose an objectively immoral decision. Oh. More on that later.
Wilma.
For now, Wilma wants to whoa. Minari's name is Wilma? Wilma balls fit in your mouth? Wilma balls want to explore the sinkhole in the forest for more Dragonzite. Which, oh no, leads to the Ice Realm. Whatever are they going to do? As per standard of this show, they do the dumbest idea that just works. Tom plans on grabbing some Dragonzite to give to his mum to give to Wilma Balls. But logically, she would just question more like, where did it come from? Is there any more? But the confusion doesn't end there. Olivia goes down there on her own and without telling anyone to grab some samples herself. Why? Top 10 parent here. To prevent the riders going down there to do it, even though they go down there anyway and are far more safe on the back of dragons as seen before. Initially, I thought she thought it wasn't a bright idea due to reasons I expressed before, but no. They excuse this bizarre decision from the beginning of the episode. Olivia states that she gets very worried about him down there, which is very understandable as a parent, but she does need to think logically as well. He's been absolutely fine for months, and again he's safer with Sparkles. Her dumb decision to grab the Dragonzite and going down there alone isn't justified. But to play devil's advocate, is this what the character would do? I mean, we don't know because we haven't seen any of this established in previous seasons. Well, there was that one episode exploring the cave with Tom, which was very dangerous for a bonding moment. This is where a lack of development really hinders the plot now. The Dragonzite looks so misplaced in the world. The Ice Realm doesn't have pockets like that we've seen before. Nice dragging and dropping assets from other locations just to fill a contrived plot point. So Tom, Alex and Eugene are down there looking for Olivia, discovering her frozen in place, along with some Snowtails. The characters quickly learn it's from the Speed Stingers with all new patterns. I like the different patterns, colorization for the different areas of the same species. This happens in real life. Or they could technically be classified as a subspecies. But that's all the compliments I have for them, as once again they have messed up an original dragon. Their speed and accuracy is gone. Just standing there, moving side to side of an opponent looks awful. Yeah, a Speed Stinger wouldn't just stand there, then roar, then attack, unless the opponent is cornered. To be fair, that's just a dumb trope in a lot of shows that just always annoys me. Why would a predator just stand there blatantly open and make their presence known, then go for an attack? And it's just not how they behave.
Faster than any.
And the venom is inconsistent. Despite grazing Eugene so he wouldn't get fully paralyzed, the effect took hold faster than a full jab to Alex. Which just wanders around for a bit and can divulge important information. Plowhorn, Wu, and Wei take time despite the sting has always been instantaneous.
One drop of their venom can paralyze a human or dragon in an instant.
I guess they had to nerf the effect just so characters could get behind cover and talk out their resolutions. The writers of Buck handled this conflict so much better. The boom boom goodbye, which we never see, is used in the dumbest way possible. Just fly up! Fly up! Fly! And now they make the speed stingers completely incompetent by them just stinging each other. Again, highly speedy and accurate creatures. Then we go like, whoop, whoopsie, I stabbed my friend. And with what they're doing with Feathers shouldn't just work due to them just being so fast. Feathers wouldn't have the reaction time to move out of the way, because when she goes invisible, she's still physically there. She can still get hit. And what's more rich is they all get unparalyzed just in the nick of time to save the day. Oh, thank you, Nick. Oh. Even Sparkles, who just got stung 2 minutes ago, gets released. Why do they always do this? Meanwhile, Dee and June are with Wilmables and Officer Earl to slow them down so they don't get into the hole in the forest. Dee distracts his father by making him complete an online safety course. How hasn't he already done that is beyond me, but sure. And June distracts Wilmables about her book, playing on her ego, which is kind of cool. Why do June and Wilmables just get along so well? Life according to Wilmables, a nutty story, a load of old bollocks.
A short story.
A work of fiction. Very funny.
But eventually she gets down there and gets stung by a speed stinger. But it wasn't quite seen. After all this debacle, Tom realises that his mum does worry about him, and anything tangible that comes from this. Nope. In the next episode, he still keeps the point with no hesitation, nor regularly updates his mum on what they've been doing, so she doesn't worry as much. Olivia confirms that she's going to tell the other parents about the dragons, but the riders get some luck in the next episode. Episode 6, Deep Freeze. A deep freeze has blown across the Icarus station, and there is a major risk of lost lab test results. Oh, and people's lives. So Olivia says she's going to tell them after the crisis is over. So the riders have some time to come up with a plan. A real plan is not to risk the dragons, say goodbye to them, and seal the dragon world up. But they are too selfish for that, and it never crosses their mind. It's either the company finds out, or the company finds out later. Oh, see the difference? Like fucking Where's Waldo? Because it's only by sheer extreme luck they haven't been spotted sooner, nor any rogue dragons just decided to fly out and go for a quick expedition, and even then still quite a few people have still stumbled upon them. However, I believe this is the best paced episode.
Communications are down.
And the music complements the tone well, or rather I should say I kind of like the style of it. The first part I like. Whoa, transitions! Whoa, they put their project in Premiere Pro. All the riders express wanting to share the secret with the adult, which is still a bad idea. I agree with Tom that the corporation would exploit the dragons, unless the writers just make it so they don't, so Tom's point would just be completely invalid since the beginning of the show. At this point, I don't know, they could make any old crap up and go against their previous positions.
This way and temperatures are going to plummet.
Okay, look, I have to get credit where credit is due. When I like a bit of science going on, I have to point it out, because it's very few and far between, which is sad. At this point, I can't be bothered to go into detail about how all the adults are being moronic. I should have more backup ideas to survive through a normal freeze in Scandinavia. How does that cease all operations? They should have been prepared better. Linda is useless to a whole new degree, to the point of complete incompetency. She forgets how to drive a car. She should be fired. So Dai issues calls for drastic measures. Riders think to use the dragons to help out, which this being the beginning of the last episode won't end well. But yeah, flying to the ranger station to get help under the cover of darkness would
They could start a fire and warm everyone up.
You don't need a dragon to start a fire. They split the group up. June, Alex and Tom attempt to get the generator started as Eugene and Dee go and find Linda. Their plan consists of destroying company property as a distraction.
We are gonna get in so much trouble.
Who will they blame? Dragons? Dragons don't exist, right?
My mom knows they exist.
Yes, consequences for your actions. Oh, who am I kidding? They're gonna get away with it scot-free.
Tom is gonna get in so much trouble.
But Feathers is invisible, so it would lessen the risk of them being seen. Wu Wei thaw out the generator, and Sparkles starts it up. I'm fairly sure adding more electricity wouldn't just solve a busted generator, but cartoon logic I guess. But it all goes to pot when Wilmables leaves the infirmary and tranks Sparkles, leading him to being shocked exploding the generator. Olivia comes back finding out what the riders have done, and she's not pleased. Meanwhile, Dee and Eugene have been searching for Linda to help her and receive the supplies. They grab some lights from nowhere and pull the car back onto the road. There's a lot of faff around these points which ultimately just wastes time. So with not even a chance of the generator get back working, they need to get help. People head straight for the helicopter. Is there no more cars? Other messaging devices like radios? Olivia telling the riders to use their dragons to go and get help? They'll have to explain what they did, but she wants to tell their parents anyway, so win-win, I guess. But the helicopter doesn't get 1 foot off the ground before it just plummets. Tom and Sparkles save Olivia. Moonway and Feathers hold the helicopter for a bit while Officer Earl gets saved by Dee and Plowhorn. And this is how they reveal the dragons to the adults. What the whole build-up of needing to tell the parents, spanning multiple episodes, from Olivia and the other riders, is wasted when they just stumble upon them. They can't have character moments that grow and connect our cast of characters. The development they were developing has now just been stripped away. There are a couple of goofs and gaffes from their reactions, but nothing much. It doesn't look like it's going to be a good start. It'll be nice in the next season how they interpret the situation and more of their opinions on the matter. Contrasting ones will create unique conflict, especially as the team has relatively worked well together in the past. Wilmables can think about exploit and profit, Officer Earl will be thinking about safety, and of course Alex's mums will just embrace them and love them. Like they did with the fireworm. Oh. But judging how they handled Olivia seeing Thunder for the first time, my hopes aren't too high. They better not move along or do a time skip going back to the status quo. Which is what's interesting about the potential for the next season, going away from the status they are in. It would be good to really involve all the other members of the station, as before they have been loosely, tangentially related. Oh, the family has issues, and of course their mum is going to be involved, but the development and the message is half-baked where the parents aren't even aware of what's going on. But when the parent is involved, like Olivia, she's far more hands-on and involved in the episode, which is nice to see. We see more of their relationship between Tom and his mother. The next season has some serious potential to be interesting, with all that's been introduced and the direction it could head in. I can't get my hopes up as by the evidence as the entire show before. The 9 Realms, the missed potential. Once they get over this hurdle of parts being separated and the overworld not being related to the main stories, they can include external threats, expansion and characters interacting with the hidden world, and it would be cool to see the company take a new direction and protect the dragons, and what that means for the wider world. But why do I feel the show will end before anything interesting happens? What we do know is the 2 remaining villains, with Buzzsaw and Wilmables. Wilmables will become more of an involved threat now, and I hope Buzzsaw actually does stuff instead of just appears in a couple of episodes of this season. And it was a bit of a hit or miss season. Some parts are good, like some of the new dragons, and maybe a couple of character moments compared to arbitrary resolutions, pointless to offensive plot lines, and wasting time. Why was there a sky torture? But all I can say now is I like the different ending, instead of an end fight or a boss battle we've had previously. I don't like the fact that they've done a 180 with Eugene's character. All the amazing development in the last season is just completely gone. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. TTFN, ta-ta for now.